have
I've
them.
had like an hour and 45 minutes before.
Yeah, let's have a good time. Because I just saw them and I didn't want them waiting too long.
I told them that I had a guest at 2:30.
Yeah. Did you tell him I was chatty?
No. He'll be fine. I'm sure he's chatty too. All right, let's start it up.
Okay.
All right, guys, welcome back to another episode of the Young Black Suburban. I'm here with a very special guest. She's a DJ. That's what her main career is. She's also a boxer, connoisseur, and amongst many things, we are gossip buddies.
Yes, definitely.
I have DJ Heiress on the show today, more affectionately called Marisha.
Yes.
How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. How about you?
I'm great. I'm glad to finally get you on the show.
Yes.
We've been talking about this for a while now.
Yes.
We have pretty much every time I train you our own podcast between each other.
Yes. Very candid conversations. They won't be that candid today.
No, not today.
We gotta protect the innocent.
That's it. We're just not saying names. That's
right.
all. But like overall though, you know, we had COVID. We've had, you know, just all around life. How have you been as a person? You know?
One of my closest friends who actually taught me how to produce, which got the whole DJing started, his saying was to endure and evolve. So basically, whatever, you know, COVID, life, all of the things that have been happening, I've just been trying to endure and evolve, like go through it and then, you know, grow from it.
Yeah, it's not always easy though. You know, there's a lot of roadblocks for people, a lot of things like we mentioned COVID.
Yes.
You know, and you're a DJ. What happens when they don't let people come indoors and, you know, have parties and you know, you're out of work essentially? How you know, do you handle that?
Exactly. That's a really good question to open up with, because myself and the DJ community, it was 2020 was terrible for us because it COVID kind of blindsided the DJ community and everyone else, because a lot of us had gigs lined up that got canceled because the nightclub venues were closed. The venues that, you know, do banquets and weddings were closed as well. So it was like indefinite. And so what I did creatively was I DJ'd in my bathrobe in my house just to like keep the depression out, one, to keep my spirits uplifted, two, to get better as a DJ, and three, towards the end of COVID when things started to open back up, it was just to it was more like a resume, like to show people what I could do if they wanted to hire me in the future.
Right. I didn't know you at all until I saw you in your bathrobe. You know, people were probably watching this, they're like, why is she in her bathrobe? Well, you know, that's part of how you get people to watch you, I guess, is it's your shtick, I guess. Is that how you say it?
Stick.
Yes.
I was just lazy. I'm like, why am I getting dressed to DJ and don't go anywhere? So I said, I'm gonna just hop out of the bed and just DJ in my robe, and it kind of, you know, I'm like, you know what, the reaction I got, so I might as well keep doing it to people to keep watching, and then that way I could promote myself with my DJing and then have fun as well.
Because social media is a big part of what everyone does nowadays.
Absolutely.
And I want to talk exclusively about social media. We've had conversations about, you know, what to do on social media, how to use it to our advantage. But first, I do want to go back to the story about how you even got into the DJ world. Like, somebody doesn't just say, well, I guess some people do say they want to be a DJ, but they don't go out there and get gigs and play weddings and shows. And so how did you even start?
Alrighty. In college, and had everything, you know, gone in reverse, I would have just skipped the college and went, and because you don't need to go to college to be a DJ.
Right.
But I was a major in political science. I was gonna go to law school, and then I don't really tell this story a lot because people might think I'm crazy.
We're on the podcast.
Yes.
You already signed that disclaimer.
Hey. Okay. So I started hearing music in my ears. And I'm like, because I grew up in the band and I was a band nerd. And I quit the band because I didn't want to be a band nerd anymore. And I was done with music. And then I started hearing the music in my ears, and I contacted my friend. I was 19 at the time, and he's a producer. He's an amazing musician.
Music, you mean like music that you were making up in your head, like songs?
Like it was like pieces of like a beat or whatever. Like so I thought, okay, I need to go into production. And my friend is a producer. Like he was in the band as well, but he can compose, he can play several instruments, he makes beats, he makes jingles. And so they had a studio at their house, and I'm like, look, this is what happened. And we went in the studio, and he taught me how to use Fruity Loops right then and there. Yeah. So I started on Fruity Loops. I was 19 at the time.
And Fruity Loops, for people that don't know,
is production software. Yes. Yeah. And I recommend it if you want to be a producer, get you some Fruity Loops.
Right.
And so I started producing, and then I was still in college. I knew how expensive that stuff was, and he's always been a really good friend to me. He gave me some Sony headphones that were like $250.
Wow. So
that was my first piece of DJ equipment, and I thought, okay, if I'm gonna produce and I need the money to get to build a studio,
right,
I'm gonna need the money. So I said, why not be a DJ to get the money to produce and to network, because that's the biggest problem producers have, and I'm still having it. I have so much music that artists have sent to me that's never been released. So one, the music doesn't get released a lot of times, and then two, like sometimes they don't even use your beats.
Right.
And then also when you're a new producer, people kind of don't want to really hire you.
Right.
So I wanted to build my name as a DJ, to get my name out there as a producer, and to help pay for the studio equipment.
Right. So primarily your goal wasn't to be a DJ at first. You wanted to produce music and actually make beats, which you've never told me before. I wish you would have told me that because I have about 20 songs, hip hop songs recorded myself, that I wrote, and we could have been doing work together this whole time.
Folks, Tim Witherspoon mixtape coming soon, produced by me. Stay tuned.
It'll be right. We'll get that done.
We sure will. It's been manifested. Watch.
Did you the transition though, was it a fight, or were you like, well, this is music as well, this is something that I want to do, I want to just go into this avenue of music? Was it an easy transition?
Absolutely. And I can honestly say the DJ transition was way easier than being a producer, because I've been a producer for 15 years now, and I do not still have any of my music. So basically what I started doing was I just let people freestyle over my beats and then hopefully in the near future we can actually make some records.
Right.
But I didn't know any DJs at the time, so I went to the Scratch Academy, which was founded by Jam Master Jay, rest in peace.
Okay.
I was going to college in Jersey City, so it was right over the bridge. I went to the one in New York City and learned how to DJ, and pretty much it was just rapid. It was okay. I learned how to DJ, and then basically 2 years later, I had my own radio show in college. So It was way faster as a DJ than a producer. I'm still trying to produce.
Right.
Still.
Right. But it's crazy how even in some other careers, like my career, you have to start out with the bare minimum. Sometimes give away your product for free, and then stuff starts to happen. I don't think a lot of people realize that you have to really start at the bottom and grind to move forward. You're now doing weddings and shows. You did our boxing event here.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Because that actually, thank you, was my biggest audience.
Really?
Yes.
You never. Really?
Yes.
Wow. Well, guys, I throw a good boxing show. So
it was amazing.
Good. And so do you feel like your career is going the way that you want it to go now?
Okay, this is tea time.
Yeah, tea time.
We're
Drop
gonna,
it out. This is, wait a minute, let's.
Shots fired, shots taken.
Let's go.
and then
that's a DJ.
Put your bulletproof vest on. You might get hit. Who knows?
No.
Who knows? We'll see. But
You might get hit. Ooh.
But getting back.
Yeah, so you feel like your career is progressing, or
Alrighty. Let's get to the nitty gritty. Let's tell the truth and shame the devil. I am doing weddings. That was not what I had envisioned my DJ career in, but basically they tell you the avenues to get your name out there. They tell you to flood every avenue, the radio, do corporate events, do nightclubs, because each one of these venues by itself can be kind of stagnating. You have people that have been on the radio forever and they want to go to the clubs or whatever, and then you have people that have gone to the clubs and they want to get out of that area, like of Philadelphia, or like they want to go global. You have people that do clubs that want to do festivals and do shows, and that was my dream. So we're manifesting it. And being a producer, I can do a festival. So basically, they say the fastest way to get your name out there is to do all. So that's why I try to do all of it at the same time. I will do a wedding, I will do a show, I will do the radio, I will, because I was live streaming, I would submit my mixes into a radio station. That changed management, so I stopped that. But basically, I've done clubs, I've done bars, so it's just doing it all at once, because if you just do one avenue, it kind of makes you get stuck.
Right, I understand that. But what is your favorite to do? What is if you could do one to fulfill yourself wholly, what would it be?
Okay, shows.
Shows?
I love...
Like your own...
No, DJing for an artist. Like basically...
Okay.
A rapper,
right,
someone
right.
who raps,
yeah.
and me providing the music for them.
Yes, cutting it up for them. When
it's an amazing feeling.
You might have to do ad-libs for them or something.
You don't want me to add
No, I know.
An artist asked me that. I'm like, are you sure you want me on a microphone ad-libbing your music? And then she was like, no, that's okay. She thought about it, like, wait, no, that's okay. But yeah, that's my favorite.
Right. And me and you have talked about some of the venues that you play in, and somehow you become very prominent in a certain segment of people when it comes to their weddings. Why are you laughing? Because
we're gonna move on to the next one.
You know where I'm going.
Next question.
No, we gotta talk about it.
Okay, let's talk about it.
Because
all right.
You are, because you don't want to be known as,
right,
I guess.
Yes.
But you have gone and become the...
we want to give a shout out to the LGBTQIA community.
Yeah.
Love you guys.
Exactly. And there's nothing,
No, absolutely not.
But you are the go-to.
Because, we want to be honest. Gay people want to get married, and the straight people don't. It seems.
So do you think that that's why you have more of a customer base?
Yeah, because my agency is LGBT friendly.
Yeah.
And you could go on the website and see me smiling bright, and it's a huge sign that says LGBT friendly, because I guess they had to do a disclaimer because some people probably don't want to do gay weddings. They might feel uncomfortable, but if everybody should have the right to be miserable for life.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, exactly. Especially gay people.
I find it...
Because they want to do that.
Yeah.
The straight people want to live together forever and ever.
Yeah.
So, yes.
I found it... I don't want to say... I don't know what the word is, because I know that I have that community inside of the gym. But I'm thinking, how do I target more for your management company to put it right on the website? I find it ingenious. I have to find a way to do it for myself, for the gym, because honestly, the community is a great community. They don't bother anyone, they want to fight too.
Absolutely.
You know, it's the same thing. And why not? You know.
Well, I feel like you don't want to. I went to Pride, and I had my rainbow headband on, and I said I went out for drinks afterward, and I said I didn't want to over gay.
Right.
So you don't want to like, hey, we love gay people.
Right.
You know, just embrace. And then if you wanted to have yourself an amazing time, partake in the Pride parades. Like, they're so much fun. So just you know, I'll come. Just get a Witherspoon collective and go to Pride.
Yeah, we should. I think I was going to go. I forget. I had a schedule conflict. There was one in Newtown, Pennsylvania.
Yep.
It was their first one ever, and I couldn't make it. But why not?
Absolutely.
If we're inclusive people,
yes,
you know, it can't just be we're inclusive to Black, white, Asian. You know, there's a whole bunch of people that need to be included.
Absolutely.
The LBGQT.
IA. Last time I checked.
IA?
Right. I don't know if that's what they're still calling it. It was LGBTQIA a couple of years ago.
Right.
Because somebody told me, I'm like, what is Q? What is I? What is A?
But you know,
I know Q is questioning, A is asexual, and I.
Wait, Q is not queer?
It's questioning. Questioning.
Wow.
Yeah, so if you like, I don't know, join.
Yeah, well,
there's a slot for you.
Yeah, it's almost like to go to race. If you don't know about a culture, go find out about it, and I get that. So I want to talk about pop culture, and
sure.
This is part of it. Dave Chappelle.
Yes.
He's a comedian who I personally enjoyed his last comedy special. I'm also not the butt of his jokes most of the time. Sometimes when he talks about like weed and stuff like that, I feel attacked. But when he's talking about the LBGQ, it's easy for me to laugh. Now we're talking about it, obviously. You haven't said it on the show, but you are part of the community. How do you feel about that special?
I kind of got the fast forwarded version of it off of YouTube. I have an extremely short attention span.
Okay.
So
like most people.
Right. So it's like you need to give me the highlights and then maybe I'll watch the whole show.
You're also busy.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's probably why my attention span is so short. So I somehow on YouTube they were like Dave Chappelle's best hit, most, whatever it was called, he had like 3 different outfits on, so it was like all the times he talked about the LGBT community.
There was a lot of them.
Yes. And you have members of the LGBT community that make fun of the LGBT community. One guy called them the LMFAO, like the group LMFAO community. So I honestly, from what I saw, it was very funny to me, especially when he described the community as like when you pick them up off the side of the road, and then the B, like because nobody likes them because they don't fit in any other way. Right. So it was from, I can't really speak on the whole thing because I haven't seen all of it, but from what I did see, it was, and I'm just basing it, you know, disclaimer off of something I saw for about like less than 10 minutes, that it was funny to me.
Yeah. Can you see how some people could be offended by it?
Absolutely. Because you have to be objective. And I think that this culture, they say that people are too sensitive, but yet, like, I mean, you don't know what somebody is feeling. Yeah. And then to say something someone's too offensive is almost like dismissing their feelings internally. Right. So, but you know what though, comedy, and you don't want to diminish people, but watching, even like I saw Rush Hour 2 again, and that was my favorite movie as a kid.
Right.
And I'm like, this is so
Your
racist.
favorite movie as a kid. I'm
like,
over here like my favorite movie as a kid was like Harlem Nights. Like it was like
speaking of offensive people making jokes, but yeah, and it was racist to me and it was offensive. And then like, because I just saw it like last year again, and then I saw it, they played it again. I'm like, you know what? Maybe that wasn't all that bad. But I mean, it's like a double-edged sword, because the jokes about the Asian community were offensive to me. They were cringeworthy. But yet,
now, do you think that it's because we're in a different time that
yes,
people are more aware of that, more sensitive than they were when the movie was being made?
And you know it's bad, all right, when MTV, the views on this film do not represent the views of this movie.
And it's just Rush Hour 2.
They made sure to put that out there before. I'm like, oh, wait a minute.
They usually put that on Jackass and ridiculousness, you know?
MTV does not want any kind of controversy.
Not send any racist jokes. We will not view them or open them. That's how they are.
So they're just trying to clean the air, you know, before.
On Rush Hour 2, that's crazy.
And I never noticed that before. And I'm like, why are they doing this? But then I watched, I'm like, oh, this is offensive.
Yeah.
So, and then Jackie Chan threw a little handful of jokes at the Black community, but it was not nearly as bad as the other way around.
Jokes,
It was offensive, and I'm not Asian.
Yeah.
But so you can't.
If you think deep into that, though, Rush Hour movies, Jackie Chan is the producer of all of his movies, you know. So you would have to think that he wanted to push that edge a little bit, try to make it so that a certain community would want to buy it more. Certain people laugh at other people's differences. But it's hard when the person that is in charge is the one that's making Chris Tucker make fake Chinese language out of his mouth, you know? So, but people that are watching the movie, like you say you got upset. You're not really thinking at the time about, wait, Jackie Chan is the one.
And I just found that out just now. But you know what? We're in a crossroads right now because that stuff from before is very offensive.
Yeah.
I'm a huge James Bond fan. I have my James Bond channel on Pluto, and one of my favorite movies, again, is License to Kill. And they kept calling one of their they were trying to do business with this group, and they kept calling them Orientals. It's like stop saying that, like. And they were just, because this was 1989. It's like Oriental, like. And then you have that. And then if you go back a little bit further to On His Majesty's Secret Service or Diamonds Are Forever, you see James Bond, like, backhanding some women. It's like, wait a minute. Like, and then, but you don't see that anymore. Somebody said something.
So I'm not really like a James Bond fan. And almost you have a war now between... I don't want to really call it hypersensitive. I don't want to call it. But people are aware of those types of things. And other people are aware of it, but they don't see it the same way. I think that social media has a lot to do with the arguments and the conflict between people. Me and the producer Jordan were talking earlier about how Russia and China are sending misinformation and making us fight against each other. Do you find more times than none that your circle, people around you, or people at work think more like you do, or do you see a lot of differences culturally out there?
Well, to close out on the first question about the sensitivity, basically I just feel like we need to be objective and just hear, it's okay to agree to disagree. And because, you know, social media is so toxic, like you say one thing and then all kind of drama. And it's like, you don't have to agree with me. And I end up on Facebook arguing with people, and I'm like, okay, let me stop arguing because they're not even hearing what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So it's like, just hear. Like if somebody says I'm offended, then just, can you explain why? And then you say, I can understand why you're offended. And then if you feel like, well, I don't agree personally, but I can understand why you're offended.
Yeah, we can't do that. I remember I used to be a keyboard warrior, you know, fighting with the liberals, watching MSNBC, you know. And then, you know, I forget, there was one last post. I said, you know what? And it was New Year's. And I already had it in my mind before to like be more positive. I said, look, I'm not going to write another negative post about anybody on Facebook. And then after I stopped doing that, I started concentrating more on other things like business, the positive things, hanging out with entrepreneurs and stuff. And now I'm here. But when I was in that cloud of stuck in that other world, I guess we could say, of negativity and everything, you would be there for an hour arguing with someone that you'll never meet.
Just because they like to argue, they like to disagree. Like you could say, "It's a nice sunny day." No, it's cloudy. Like, and it's like, then you just are just going back and forth. You know what I'm saying? Indefinitely until the cows come home. Right, so, people think like you're letting them win when you say I agree to disagree, like, you know, but it's like, I gotta stop you because we'll be going all night, you know?
How can you have a fight when you're getting your information from here, they're getting their information from,
or they're coming it from, making it off, it's from their own brain.
But we know Zuckerberg, whoever from Twitter, that they're attracting us to the stuff that we find attractive. How can we unlock people's brains to be like, wait a minute, we're puppets? I haven't even seen that, The Social Dilemma. I haven't even seen that on Netflix. Have you heard of that?
Not yet. I've heard about it, though.
You haven't seen it?
Not yet.
Jordan, have you watched it? Yeah. All right, don't tell us about
it.
But how can we get people to realize that there's an alternate universe and then there's reality?
Well, I heard about it, and that's why, going back to your question from before about the social media, and we'll just kind of diverge off that for a little bit. Yeah. You have to use it for
good
and for a platform. Like, do not get because it isn't a real life. Like, everyone is giving you a fisheye view of their life, and a lot of times it's not even their real life. So they messed up the algorithm so bad. I really don't like Instagram anymore. Really? So basically what I do is, I know the way the old algorithm worked, that you, I told you about this, right? The 11 a.m., the 3 p.m., whatever.
Is
so
that no longer?
It probably is.
Hashtags are different.
Yes. No, that still works. Yeah. But you have to unlock, and I will send that to you privately, that you have to click in your settings something so that it gets shown to more people, because
why don't we tell the people?
Because I did it so fast I forgot. But we'll table that.
No. Give them a brief overview, because you know there's so many people out there like me and you that are trying to just fucking grind every day.
Absolutely.
And social media is a big part of it, and we're going to talk about how we do that.
Yes.
But it will be a treasure if we could tell these people that there's a little bit extra that you can do.
Okay. I will let's take a second, but it was a video. You have to go into your settings in Instagram, and you have to personally change them so that it goes to pretty much saying all, like, and then that will open up the algorithm a little bit more, because they're purposely making it like not to be shown to everybody, and that's why the algorithm is messed up.
They're trying to make money.
Yes, and it is true. Like, why didn't everybody, the views, I used to have this amount of views and now I have this amount. It's on purpose. So you have to adjust your settings and open it up so that more people can see it. But basically,
all you have to do is show a picture of you with a pretty baby, and you'll get thousands of likes.
Yes, or you can
unlock it.
You can.
Well, you don't have
take your clothes off as a lady.
But you know, and we talked about that too. After a while, a woman on Instagram taking her clothes off, you get desensitized to it. Like, I don't stop and watch these women on my Instagram. Like, I'm over here watching, like, people in other countries cooking natural food, you know, other things. But the sex of social media is something that I don't even see it anymore, that it's so prevalent.
But you've been desensitized, but people still like it because if you look at the views of that stuff, they're still high.
Right, yeah.
So I've been, since the algorithm got messed up, whenever that was, I think it was like around last year, it's a job for me. I use it as a platform to help with my DJing because in this avenue, these venues want a lot of followers. Like, these nightclubs, like, how many followers do you have? But there's a nightclub near where I live. They don't really care about that because bottom line is it's the venue's job to promote. We shouldn't have to have 13,000 followers to DJ for 4 hours for $250. Shots fired.
Yeah, shots fired.
No, it's not right. We have to do so much promoting for these venues for such little pay.
Right.
And that's another reason to do corporate events because the stuff that the fee that you would earn a lot of times in a nightclub for 4 hours is what you would make in an hour at a wedding.
Right.
So you want to do that. And then also it kind of helps you kind of be more professional and organized because weddings are very like organized and very like on the clock.
Yeah.
And we are doing several jobs. Like we're an MC, we're a host, we facilitate the agenda. I don't take
requests. You don't take requests? No.
COVID. You can't come near me. And that's my excuse for not taking requests. Yes, host, facilitator of an agenda. Basically, we are like we set the atmosphere.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize how important it was to make the atmosphere perky until my last wedding because if I did not get those people dancing, they would not have happy photos. So I didn't realize that because I did have a couple fumbles, and that's another lesson I learned. Just because this wedding likes this, whatever, doesn't mean the next. I thought, because somebody said do the electric slide at a wedding. I did that at this wedding.
It didn't work. Yeah. You have to read the room, don't you? Yeah.
Well, I thought, okay, well, you like the wobble. You like the Cupid shuffle. Hey, let's electric. But that did work. The wobble, the Cupid shuffle did work. The electric slide, it was like, what? Like this one lady was like, people still do the electric.
Yeah, it's crazy because when I talk to my comedian friends, they say that too. They say certain jokes that might work for a certain group of people might not work for a certain group of people.
Yes.
Say you have a group of people that are 20 years old, you got to tell different jokes. It's the same thing for you probably. You have to read the room.
Absolutely. And you take gems with you. So now I know when I go through my line dance medley, just put a little electric. Oh, nobody likes it. Take it right off. No, we're gonna do the electric slide, even if you don't like it. No, we're gonna.
So you have to really be attentive. It's not like you're just throwing on a record. People are gonna listen to it. You take it off when it's over. It's like, okay, this song's bombing. You only get a minute, and we're going on to the next song.
You gotta get it off. You don't. Can you hold on? All right, it's almost over. No. Take it, transition. I try to transition it out. Right. Something else.
Do you feel like your job as a DJ is a 24-hour job? You're constantly trying to discover stuff?
Well, I'll tell you what. For a wedding, and that is why it is so much money. It's not one day. It's a several month process. A lot of these couples do book a year ahead of time, and then they'll, the way my agency does it, it's a spreadsheet. You put the songs you want on there. And I remember a couple gave me 137 songs. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm like, oh my God. But let me tell you.
137, let's just say.
In a period of like 4 hours.
Yeah, each song is at least
3 minutes. So basically, I did it. So it's 20 songs an hour. But let me tell you what, they saved me, and I learned that from my sister. You take your gems with you. That the more songs they give you, you don't have to weave in, because I will weave in. But I didn't have to, because they gave me so, and of course I knew I was going to play all of them, right. But I was able, because that was one of. Couples are now doing different kinds of weddings where they're like, no, I don't want to catch a bouquet. I don't want to catch a garter. I don't want to, I don't want to do a dance with my dad and my mom. Yeah. They just want to, I don't want to have dinner. A lot of couples, they're called cocktail weddings, where you just have finger foods. This wedding didn't even have chairs. And a lot of just sit on, they had the cocktail tables that you sent, because they they said, we want a dance party. So the wedding was from 5 to 10. They opened
chairs to sit down.
A few, but it wasn't enough on purpose. And there was no dinner. So it was like, so what are we sitting down to do? So they opened up the dance floor at 7 p.m. Which means I had to make these people dance from 7 to 10. It was my biggest challenge, but it was the most fun I had. And I used the 137 songs. And
all of them?
No. But most of them.
That's not, possible.
Most of them. And everyone had a good time. And we got the nice pictures. And when the photographer actually commented on my Instagram page with one of the pictures I took, and she said that it was the most fun she had in 12 years as a photographer. Nice. So you take your gems with you, but the more they give me, it's less that I have to figure out, because again, you said the different jokes. A lot of times you'll have a mixed audience of, even with a comedy show or a wedding, you might have older people, you might have younger people all there. And if they give you all that stuff, everybody will be pleased.
Right.
So.
Right. Let me tell you about the wedding I went to about a month ago.
Did you catch the garter?
No, I didn't.
Did you catch the bouquet?
No, there was none of that. So you saying that people don't want a traditional, you'll never believe this, it was a karaoke wedding. So there was no
no comment.
At first they were playing a couple songs, and then the couple got married, and then all of a sudden, one by one, I didn't even know this was gonna happen. People were starting to go up singing "White Wedding" and the B-52s.
Oh, no.
So,
did you sing anything?
Nothing. Okay. I got out of there.
You should have did one song.
Well, what I did was when they passed around the mic for people to talk, no one was going to say anything. And I do love this couple. They are people that I trained in boxing before I even opened up my own gym. They're great people. So when it looked like no one was going to say anything, I stood up and said something. That was way better than karaoke, because people would have been leaving their wedding. I would have did the opposite. But what I found really crazy is, like, when it came time to dance, I felt like everybody was listening to a different song. Just nobody was dancing to the same song. Do you see a lot of crazy dancing?
Crazy would be an understatement.
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of everything.
Yeah.
So, but it's an expression. If people wanna jump around like they're in a mosh pit.
But yeah, and it was everyone was happy. They were having fun.
Because not everybody can dance, and that's subjective too.
No one could dance that day.
But I mean, they probably, it was good for them.
Yeah, let me spread the tea.
I mean, because the last wedding I did, they wanted The Killers. They wanted
right.
Fallout Boy. So that is, you do jump around to that.
Yeah.
So it's like, so that's not, it's not bad. That's what.
This was like Celine Dion, and they were like,
oh no. Well.
But look. I hope they don't watch my podcast.
Yeah, tell them ahead of time.
Yeah.
Do not just skip this episode because you're getting talked about.
They're gonna show up.
Shots fired.
It's all right. But so me and you just became friends, really. It hasn't been that long. I think this is my opinion. You use social media to find the gym, or how do
yes.
we? Yeah. How do we?
There we go.
Become friends.
And going back. Because marijuana is a hell of a drug.
Yes.
Let people. Because people don't know. Like they think this, that, and the next thing. Marijuana, it's a doozy too.
Yeah, it does.
It messes up your short-term memory. And then you go all out, then you have to that's what I was talking about.
Yeah.
And come and bring yourself back. Say no to drugs, kids.
Along with the punches, it's a really hard cocktail to handle. You talk to my father.
Yes,
right.
He's wonderful.
He's wonderful, but the marijuana.
Okay, right. Use it at your own risk, because there really are no negative side effects from it except for the short-term memory loss.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's like an ice cream headache. Like, especially if you're tired.
Yeah.
It was like 2 days ago, and I was in the middle of doing something like, why am I here? Like, what was I looking for?
It happens all the time.
Wait a minute.
Why is there food in the
should I have left? Was I leaving?
Yeah.
Should I still be here?
It happens to you?
Yeah.
Happens to me all the time. I'll be like so sure of what I have to go get in the other room. By the time I get to the other room, what the fuck did I come here for?
But I make lists.
Yeah.
Okay, I did everything. All right. Help yourself. If you're gonna smoke weed, help yourself because you will forget stuff. Right when you really don't need to.
No,
it could be dangerous, especially if you're like on medication. Did I take my meds? Yes, I did. Did I? I thought I did. Did I?
You gotta take your medication before you take your other medication.
And then you just pass out.
Yeah.
I guess I didn't take it. Somebody call 911.
But so now we have so many things to talk about.
Social media.
When I asked you a question, but now I want to talk about marijuana.
Okay, no. Let's save that.
Okay.
We gotta give these people like an encore. So we're gonna, that's like the dessert. Like we don't wanna. You ever you watch them. And those people's podcast and them. We want to protect the innocent and we don't want to throw any type of shade anywhere because they're very successful, those people. And we wish them all the best. But I don't listen to them, but I did yesterday just because it was a situation. We'll have to talk about that out, not on the camera. Yeah. But it was a situation where I wanted to find out their thoughts on an issue, and then so a lot of these podcasts it starts off really juicy, and then it's like, and then let me turn off. But then they're like, oh, did you see this, that, and the third? And it's like, well, then when did that happen? Yeah. Right when you turn it off. Right. So we want to spice it up. We want to give them a nice.
We might have to have 2 of these.
2, 3. We might want to go out with a bang. Yeah. Give them a knockout. But the social media.
Yeah.
Was about
how you met me.
Yes, about the job, and then how I met you. Yeah. So yes, you still 6 o'clock in the morning, I believe, 11:3. I
forgot all about this part of the conversation. Go ahead. The algorithm.
Yes. It's changed, and somebody's probably at a switchboard just going crazy, unplugging stuff, hitting because
well, somebody's trying to figure out how to make them money.
Yeah, and they're like probably thinking they know the algorithm. Let's change it.
Well,
yeah,
people will figure it out.
Yes.
I mean, Instagram is full of people that are just like me and you. Facebook, the same thing. People will figure it out. You go on YouTube, they figured it out for 2021. You know?
Which is why, listen how they do. Please like, comment, and subscribe. It helps the algorithm.
Yeah.
No, it doesn't. I mean, I believe that.
What helps the algorithms for Google is reviews.
Yes. So I believe them, but okay, before they were mentioning the algorithm, it was please like, comment, and subscribe.
Yeah.
That was it was everybody's intro.
Yeah.
If you like this video,
and that's what
give it a thumbs up.
If you are a business person studying social media, they say don't forget to tell them to like, subscribe, and follow.
Comment.
And I have not done it for a whole year on my podcast.
Please do not.
Please, guys.
But make sure you like, comment, and subscribe since we're on the subject.
Yeah.
And leave a comment down below.
But what else about?
But okay, so 6, 11, 3. So 6 a.m., 11 a.m. and 3 p.m. That was the old algorithm or it might still be, because I noticed recently. Or you can, I think the new way, just be on it. Just
go.
Yeah, what I'll do.
Because I'll post sometimes that because I'm busy.
Yes.
I don't get home until 9 o'clock.
Is your Instagram up?
No, I could put it up.
Do it. Because I got 3 followers yesterday, and it's I know that's not a lot, but it's ooh, 3. Yeah. Just by you don't have to look at, but just have it on. Just have it. And so we're trying to piece it together. We're trying to figure out the algorithm. Well, this worked yesterday.
Yeah. We're just common people. You know?
And that's probably not even what it is. But
there's people that study algorithms, you know.
And they're probably still wrong because only.
It's true.
Since we're being since we're being so honest, and we're scrambling around like hamsters in a cage, and they're look at these people. But what worked for me yesterday, is having it on. And then because yes, you said I'm very busy. I'll be on my laptop responding to the couples for their weddings and doing all this.
Just have it on another tab.
Yeah, and just have it. Just and don't even be messing with it. But and then they see active now, and then you will get the followers. So we have that way. That worked yesterday. So I don't know if it's true or not, but it worked. Keep throw some stuff on the wall
the
and
problem with that,
see what sticks.
For me, it's people are always trying to contact me. I'm if they see that I'm on Instagram, I'm gonna have 100 people.
We're gonna ignore you.
That's what I'm doing
right now.
I'll get back.
He'll talk to you later. Because we're not really on it. We're on it for the algorithm's sake. So the 6, 11, 3, then the just being on, and then just throw something on, even if it's a meme from somebody else.
Hardest
post
part.
something. Post something.
How do you every day?
Because here you go, you're throwing it on, and then anything. Well, not anything.
I was anything.
Not anything. Something.
Because next time you come to the gym and we have these conversations, I'm recording them and throwing them on there.
Sure.
Yeah.
But make sure you do it between 6 a.m., 11 a.m., and 3 p.m.
That's it.
But no, something, touching. Something that make people feel good. And then this is because listen, what I don't like to see, is somebody with 7,000 pictures. I'm not looking through all of that. So I had 100 And then I don't know what month it was. It was sometime this year. I'm like, I'm taking this off. It's just because it's overwhelming. My goal is to not have more than 60. So what you just throw it on, have it on something touching, something inspirational, something motivational, and then rotate it, and then just keep the best of, like, whatever, like, because I rotate my stuff off, and I started archiving my stuff, but the video of me training you, it was touching. I was touched.
Yeah.
Because, you know, you're passing the torch.
That's it.
So we want that kind of stuff, and it's by design, and that's how it's a job to me, because yes, it is real. That really did happen, but I'm like, hey, Tim, look in the camera. Like, remember, we can't see your face. Turn that way. It really did happen, but we made it look pretty.
Yeah.
Because this is a job for me, and that's the problem. People are really, I was at a barbecue and they were talking about Instagram. It's like, we're here. Like, can we talk about how this chicken is burnt? Like, you know, and
really,
choking. Like,
it's really a part of people's lives.
You know, and
really
it's like, I don't, like, why are we here talking about Instagram? Then we're gonna go home and be on Instagram. It's like we need to live in the moment. Mm-hmm. And people, I think we had this discussion privately. I had one of it with my hairdresser. People don't even need to be on Instagram. And it's like, why are you even here? Like, don't you see?
There goes a sponsorship.
Shots fired. That you have 40 followers, like, and then nobody's liking your pictures and like, why?
You don't need to be there.
Right, because, or you can just make it private. And because if you like celebrities so much, that's a lot of people, but it's like, how many more batches of selfies do we have to ignore, right? For you to get it that we don't care, right? I
was posting every day for a while, like a year ago, and then I ran out of pictures. I was like, I hit a wall. So every day turned into... So then you gotta stick your butt out and... it turned into every other day. And then I'm like, man, there's so many other things. There's TikTok. Facebook is really good for business. But
Facebook is overwhelming. When they started that never-ending feed, it's like, I used to be able to get to the end. It doesn't ever end.
The never-ending feed.
Right. So I had to distance myself from them too. So I don't really do Facebook.
What is your number one social media? All right, so this is a loaded question because you have your personal enjoyment in social media, you have your business enjoyment. For me, business-wise, I enjoy Facebook because I feel like I get a lot more responses. Personally, I enjoy Instagram more because it's more of a scroll, just nonchalantly thing. I
despise both. My favorite, I like blogs. I like Reddit. I like, is it Quora?
I'm not sure.
Quora.
When you go into like the Reddit area of things, then you start like that's deep web.
Yeah, I like messiness sometimes.
Okay.
I like
we know
the people. It's like it is a boxing match in there. Fight for your opinions that don't make sense. You know what I'm saying? And just fight and just insult each other. Because
it's kind of like that fine line.
Twitter.
You know, that's fine line.
Like, what is a Twitter? They have not been relevant since like 8 years ago.
Really?
I don't use
respectfully.
it. I don't. But see, I don't think it's that relevant anymore. Like, so, I have it, but I do not go on there.
But it's still the same Instagram situation for me where I can see, okay, someone's mad at that Kyle Rittenhouse. Shout those people. Let's click on this thread.
And then you can read. Ooh, it gets spicy.
Yeah. I should be reading regular books, but I'm reading tweets.
It's way more interesting. Yeah. So Instagram's out, Facebook's out. I like YouTube. And I like Reddit. Like, basically, I like these message work places more.
For your business, what's the best?
For my business, Instagram, because it's so much Facebook. Like, with that never-ending feed, people see it even less than Instagram.
Right.
So yes, Instagram is I manicure my Instagram. It's how I want it to be, because you don't want to.
I was researching you, and there's not as many things on there as there used to be.
Exactly, because people don't care.
Like, we only have one clip together.
Yeah.
We used to have 30.
Because let me tell you why. Because I wanted the best of the best. And that's and I'm glad we're having this discussion. Like, where did you take me out? It's like, because that picture.
You dumped me.
But you're still there looking better.
I think we got like 2 videos.
See, I'm gonna replace it. Like, basically, because you look like, oh, that doesn't look too good. Like, when you look back, I also filter my stuff. I mean, I'm not gonna sit here and lie. I filter because you want it to look as best as possible. But sometimes it's like, okay, that does not look that good. Yeah. So when I took the stuff down, I replaced it with that. It just looked better. That it's not personal, like, because I deleted a couple pictures with some people in it. It's not because I didn't look my best.
I was definitely joking.
I know, but this is for the other people watching. If you're wondering what happened to those pictures with us in it that I took down, they didn't look that good.
A great segue, because I asked you how you found us.
Yes, and in getting back to that, and that's where I was heading. It is a segue. Nope, it's fine, because
I do it all the time.
No, we don't want a 5-hour interview. But I could do one because I'm chatty. I had some situations with some unreliability.
So you're not only a DJ, you also are, like I said earlier in the intro, a boxing connoisseur.
And I can say now I'm a boxer. Because my trainer that lives the closest to me, like, we actually have like some Kill Bill Volume 2 level of brawls weekly that I'd actually like to record, because people wouldn't believe me. And my uncle wanted to see, he's like, can you fight somebody? I'm like, okay, let me try to set it up. I fight him, like, I really fight him. Some people, and we're not gonna, like, we're gonna protect the innocent and not, like, you know, because people, like I said, don't want to get talked about. So it's...
we talking about them.
Not on camera.
You know what?
We talk about people.
No, we usually talk about, but maybe, just maybe, like me, I take criticism and I use it. You know, maybe these people need to hear. And they're, but people,
I always say, people know what they're doing. So it's like, it's not, you know, that when I say, hey, can you please train me? Because I have a very busy work schedule, especially when I was working at my job. We will not mention them either. I had a lot of hours.
I wouldn't have a podcast anymore if you mentioned them. It would be over.
And we love them, don't we?
They'll be knocking on the door right now.
We love them.
We love them.
They're wonderful.
They only run the world, but we love them.
They sure do. So I did. Yay! We love them. And we love anyone who shops with them.
Oh, come on! You trying to get us bumped off.
But no, my schedule was very hectic, very chaotic, and then I was working a lot of hours. So I would give my schedule. I actually give it to you as well. And it's like, okay, I need to scat with you at this time because I'm working these days and this time. And then we would set up something and then, like, okay, I can't do it this day. Or can you come this day? Or can you come? And it's like the third time of, can you come? I'm moving on.
At that point, it turns into being ghetto. I'm just being honest.
And it's like, okay, you know what? I'm moving on, and I'm not even gonna tell you. I'm just gonna right now. When you get together, we'll reschedule. But right now, I'm gonna go elsewhere.
You picked a hell of a place to move on.
I sure did. And you know, Tim Witherspoon. He's a really good trainer.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it.
And really knowledgeable.
You have to say junior because there's three of us.
Yes.
So,
Junior.
For tax purposes. You got to put the junior
Junior.
on it. Yeah.
And he knows a lot, like, because you make jokes, and everybody did. I've trained with almost everybody under the sun. But what I prefer is knowledge, like, and the knowledge comes from doing it over and over again. And then a lot of people, I do not, because I went through phases like, oh, he doesn't know enough, or she doesn't know like she says she knows, but it's because it's not them. You have to do it to know it. And that's how I can say I'm learning more. You have to fight to learn how to fight. That's where it comes from. The mitt work is nice, the drills, but you have to fight because that's where you learn what to strategize. You have to do it.
And you also can't be the best person there. I can honestly say that there's times that I'm in the gym, that there's people that are in the gym that can show me something. Even though I own the place, I always keep people around me that keep me on my toes. If I'm training somebody in there, I'm like, oh, I got to think a little bit deeper. I can't have this be off.
Yes.
But
I learned it is a game. The game. And then you know it, and then it's fine.
See, now you got my Instagram up on. Everybody's hitting me up. Hi. The tab's closed, but it's open. They know I'm awake.
So it's you go a little bit deeper. And then some people, like, you can go like really deep because that's how much that they know. But some people, they can't go that deep because they don't know that much.
But the crazy part about it is, and I want to name names without naming names, is these are people that I know. These are people that if you come to
this interview went left.
But it's a small community. You know, everybody
a little
knows
bit
everybody.
too small.
Yeah.
And then I floated with everybody, and they're like, "Oh, I know her."
But the thing is though, if you are a confident trainer in who you are, you want the person that you're training, especially if they're not competing under you, if there's someone that's just there for learning, you want them to do what they want to do. You want them to be happy. Why would I want you to be like, yo, you're showing up here, you're not really happy with me, you know, but I'm going to force you to train. No. Train with me when you want to train with me. You pay me, you know, and then if you go somewhere else and you learn something, that makes my job a little bit easier. Right. And it makes me happy that you are feeling fulfilled in your training.
So let me ask you a question now.
Yeah.
Can you see, can I think that your job has been a lot easier than it was when I first started?
What do you mean, like in my whole business?
When I train with you now, you don't have to do so much work, right?
Yeah.
You agree?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, now I have an assistant. So before I would be holding the mitts for you and then running to answer the phone. I would have emails coming. I have someone to handle that now.
But you don't have to like teach me. It's more. Oh,
you mean specifically?
Yeah, like you don't have to teach me so much now.
Yeah.
It's more like a fine tuning. I like that's what I like about you. A precision.
Yeah.
You do not let me be sloppy, and that's exactly what I need. But nobody I've trained with let me be sloppy.
Yeah, well, if they're professionals,
yes,
or want to be on that level as a trainer, they shouldn't. They should try their best.
Absolutely, and I know that you do. And we've grown over the years and built, and because you train me real good. And then we just talk crap for hours, which is but that's a nice part of it too.
You want to go to a place. I used to work at a place where I trained people, and I would park. It wasn't the people that I was training; it was the facility, the atmosphere. I would stay in the car until my client showed up because I didn't want to go in. I knew that when I opened up my place that I had to make it a place that people wanted to get out of their car and run into because the atmosphere was great. So that's part of my motto.
And I blame you. Why I blame you, Travis Scott. but that's for the next show.
Yeah. We're not there yet. We're not there yet. Because we have real people we got to talk about that we know.
But in a nice way, because I remember you trained me. This was last year. And we played Astro World.
Yeah,
and
I was really big
I'm
on it.
loopy as it is. And it was like I was on a trip because the music, we were exercising, but I was hearing this wonderful music, got in the car, got the album. Yeah. So thank you.
You're welcome.
If it was not for that, I wouldn't, because I know the fan status is a little iffy with me and him, but I know I was listening to his music since like Owl Pharaoh in 2013.
It's hard because he's a good artist.
I know, and it doesn't really kind of have the luster anymore like it used to. Like because I have so much of it in the car, and it's like, skip.
You hitting it with the R. Kelly joint?
Like skip.
You can't listen to him
skip.
Oh man, it's hard, man.
I just need a break. But we'll save that for the next show.
Yeah.
It will sound good. Because it still sounds good, but you remember. And, you know, our condolences out for all the people that died in that situation. Yeah. And it's a stain. Like, it doesn't feel happy anymore. But that was an amazing experience I'll never forget. Because, like I said, I went right to the car, got the album.
I was really selfish at that time. I was putting on Travis Scott because that's what I was listening to at home, you know. But to know that... you know, I built an atmosphere that made you leave here and still continue.
It was because it wasn't...
You're still burning calories after you leave here.
But it was, like, relaxed. Like, because, you know, we do, like, other gyms, it'll be, like, that, like, 5EO foreign, really aggressive music. Yeah. And it was, like, it was an experience because I'm hearing this fabulous music. It's relaxing me, and I'm exercising. Yeah. And it was kind of, like... how you zone out. Yeah. And I'm like, and I try to look at the screen like, what's the name of that song? And I said, you know, let me just get the whole album.
That's how me and you both are a DJ in a sense. Yeah. Because
you provide an atmosphere.
I have to read the room.
And you didn't even know I liked him, did you?
No, I didn't. But I knew that you would accept that 9:30 class is different than noon class. Noon class is different than 6 o'clock class. Adult class is different than women's class. Yes. And the kids class is definitely. Yes. But you know what? You have to be prepared because Absolutely. If you don't have the atmosphere, you know, you're inspiring to be a personal trainer, then the whole thing goes to hell.
Absolutely. And I love 5EO foreign, by the way. I love salsa. Yeah. It's just, but sometimes you don't want to be so hyped up. Like sometimes you want to just kind of relax, mentally, like be calmer with the music. So that was I think that was one of our best sessions. I was and I said I couldn't wait to get to the car and went right to iTunes, bought it right then and there and I think that was like the first time I bought some Travis Scott music because I was getting his mixtapes, all of them, the Owl Pharaoh, when the rodeo, the days before the rodeo, like all of that stuff, that old stuff, you didn't have to buy it.
As a DJ, where do you get your music from? That's what makes me.
I steal it.
No, I mean, but from
YouTube. From YouTube.
Okay, so look, you were in the gym. Mm-hmm. I use YouTube Music. Mm-hmm. I subscribe to them. I pay them every month. They send me the new releases as soon as midnight comes. I wake up, new release on my phone. That's how I find my new music. Maybe you might want to look into it's YouTube Red.
Yes. Yeah. Well,
send me a T-shirt. Endorsement,
basically. But you got to smile.
YouTube Music.
It's there. But it was Waves because I do not listen.
Is that still around?
No, waves meaning of different ways to get my music.
Waves. Sorry.
Waves.
I was thinking, was that the car thing?
Waves. Yeah, that's waves. Yeah. We're talking about waves because the music of today, we talk about stuff as you gotta fish through it.
Yeah.
A lot of it, most of it is bad. And then I found out recently they're making music just for TikTok. So it's bad. It's not, it's bad on purpose because they want it to just make a cute little dance trend and then go. So the music has been bad for a long time. I stopped listening to the radio about 5 years ago and I would just, I would go to SoundCloud and whatever would have the most views or whatever, social media, like, oh, listen to like Travis Scott or who's ever, I would get it off SoundCloud and then I would make my own mixtapes and play them in the car. And then in the mornings, I would listen to like Diamond Cuts, like or Doc Beat in the afternoon, like whoever was. Basically, if you were not mixing it up, I wasn't listening.
I want to find Diamond Cuts. How do I find? Is she on SoundCloud?
Instagram. Oh, her
I want to play her like in the gym.
Then okay, you could just do her Instagram, and then they'll probably link you to where her mixes are at.
Okay.
But yeah, so if it wasn't a DJ, I didn't listen to the radio. And so it was like SoundCloud, and then I would hear, now it's YouTube, like whatever the YouTube highlights, or my DJ community. Well, kind of, that's how I heard of Baby Keem.
Yeah.
And Aminé and like the underground,
Kyle,
people.
Little Yachty was found on SoundCloud, I believe, right?
No,
I don't listen to him.
I was gonna say,
but he was found on SoundCloud.
And don't play that when I'm no offense.
I don't listen to him. I'm just saying he was found on SoundCloud.
Yes. But basically all of those QC people, and then when you hear the name, you go to iTunes and like, okay, let me hear all of it. So like I'll buy some stuff. I used to remember when you could get your mixtapes offline. Yeah. Remember? Yeah, there was how we were addicted to Lil Wayne's mixtapes and how we waited for that. Like, ooh, it's new. And he would bring it out so much. I'm trying to
think of
thatpiff.com. Well, that's where I would get that's where I would get mine from.
The guy who now manages what's the new white rapper that's out right now?
Jack Harlow.
Oh my God, he went to jail because he was the mixtape king in New York.
Who is it? DJ Drama?
Drama.
Just Drama?
Yeah, Drama.
Oh yeah, I heard he went to jail.
Yeah, he is.
Speaking of him, I listen to Lil Uzi because it's him. And it was a wave, like the waves of like the ASAP mob. Yeah. So it was Rocky Ferg, and then they kind of brought in Lil Uzi.
He's in that.
He's not, but he would collaborate with them.
He's from Philly.
Yes.
They're from New York, right?
I know, but they would collaborate. This was like when he first came out, like a long time ago, and then I heard about him through DJ Drama. So I like his music too. Yeah. I listen to a lot of his music, and he provides an atmosphere as well because he has amazing beats.
Yeah.
And then now we have TikTok. So like with the TikTok challenges, you're like, oh, I kind of like that song. And then Coi Leray, like I kind of like a little bit of her stuff, not all of it, but I probably would have never heard of her if it wasn't for TikTok challenges and stuff like that.
I'm just getting into TikTok, really. I've had a TikTok for like a year.
I think it's silly, but it's.
If you're gonna do like DJ sets or
Twitch was good for that too.
Yeah, true. If I'm gonna do like teaching people how to throw a right hand.
Yeah. That's good.
Yeah.
And then you can put some of the most popular TikTok dance songs in the background. and then people will watch and it will go viral. But how did I find you? And then
we're still talking about that.
Right. Because this is the social media segment, right? And this is why the training sessions are like 2-3 hours long. But the actual training is like 30 minutes. I kept getting like pushed back, like canceled on, whatever, postponed, whatever you want to call it. So I went, to Instagram. Well, first it was Google. And I looked because I was living in Marlboro at that time and what was closest. And then it said Witherspoon Boxing and Fitness went to Instagram and I saw you doing the Mayweather with one of your members. Yeah. And I said, this is the guy.
Oh, yeah.
This is because I knew if he can do fancy, he can do fundamental, and we've done both.
Yeah. I've taught you both of those things.
Yep. So I knew, And then finding out that you are a professional boxer.
Yeah.
That like I actually now
Retired.
I look for that.
I really love putting the word retired.
Retired.
in front of
Okay.
boxing.
All right. But it didn't really mean that much to me back then. But now it's like, if you did not do it professionally, I don't want to be trained by you, because I'm now training people, so I need the deeper level of knowledge.
Extra,
Yes, so that's how I found you. And then coming here, and then it was just so atmospheric. You played some ambient music. I remember that day, the first time I met you, as you trained me. And it's kind of like I said, it's trippy. Yeah. Because it's like you zone out.
High
I might have been. But yeah, so it's like, it doesn't feel so like, oh my God, I got to go to the gym and train. It's like and we get through it. That's good. And the hour goes by quickly. And then we just start talking.
That's it. We have so much that we didn't touch. We are over
part one.
We're part one. We're over an hour. And it felt like 10 minutes to me. This is how it works.
And we still got more to talk about. That's crazy.
That's it. So, DJ Heiress, do you have anything that you want to tell the world about how you're living?
Smoke weed every day.
How they should live.
Hey.
Do you have any motivational?
Smoke weed every day.
That's all we got?
No. Because my family might be watching this.
Yeah, well,
don't smoke weed every day.
Every other.
Don't smoke weed.
Yeah. Say no to drugs.
Say no to drugs. No. Okay, follow your dreams. Be authentic and treat people right, and then endure and evolve, like I said in the beginning.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right, so that's part one. I'm personally telling you guys that I'm bringing DJ Heiress.
So am I looking at the right camera?
Yeah, you're good. I'm
doing
bringing
all
her
this.
back for part two, because
what is this one?
We got to talk. That's on me.
Oh, okay.
That one's on both of us.
Okay.
That one's on you.
I'm gonna just.
You're good.
all three of them. Make sure I'm seen.
We have so many more people to talk about.
High fives. And close. We're closing.
Is that what it?
Because I can close for 15 minutes.
Yeah? All right, we're closing. That was the Young Black Suburban. See you guys on the next episode.
Yeah, that was fun.
That was great.
I enjoyed myself.